Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Star Wars Headlines. It's May 9th. I'm Rebecca Mosley, the co-founder of Laughing Place, and with me is Laughing Place West Coast correspondent and editorial content director here at Laughing Place for all things Star Wars, Mike Celestino. How you doing, Mike?
Very tired, very busy, but always happy to talk about Star Wars.
It was
not that I really ever stopped talking about Star Wars.
Yeah,
it was a big
quite
week.
a week. Hey, look, I even have the wrong date. Hang on. Let me fix it. So May the 4th has happened since the last time we spoke. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that today. But before we get to all the fun that Mike had that day, let's start with a little bit of news out of Disney Plus. And that is that the series Ahsoka, we'd seen a logo previously, but now we've got just a little bit more excitement about it. What was tweeted out today, Mike?
So the official Star Wars, this came from ILM, actually, the official Industrial Light and Magic. Twitter tweeted out that Ahsoka, Star Wars Ahsoka, the Disney Plus live action series has started production as of today, Monday, May 9th.
We've got a few comments about the new look there, Mike. So, Juby and Kyle, your cohorts here at LP.
Catch me in like 3 days. It'll be back.
So that's the excitement from this morning. And then they've also announced over at Disney Plus, a 6-part documentary series is coming later this summer. I think we may have had a bit of an idea that this was on the way, but what can you tell us about it, Mike?
I don't know much about it, except it's about the history of Industrial Light and Magic, kind of in the way that we learned about Imagineering via the Imagineering story. This will be all about the history of ILM, which is probably, at this point, the most famous visual effects house in movie history, I would say.
And a little preview of that will be available via the upcoming Star Wars celebration event, because there's a panel focusing on this particular series. So it made that much more exciting. It is executive produced by Brian Grazer and Ron Howard. It's a 6-part documentary. And like I say, Friday, May 27th, Star Wars Celebration attendees will be among the first to get a sneak peek at Light and Magic, along with a discussion panel featuring what I would consider a pantheon of Star Wars creative greats gathered together on at the event to showcase what's coming there.
Yeah, that reminds me, I got to talk to Benji about rearranging the schedule now that we know there's this additional panel, because we had already planned out our celebration plan of attack,
Gotcha. Oh, hey, Charles Johnson's excited about Ahsoka getting her time in the spotlight. I totally agree. I am totally enthused for this series, and it's just been fun to kind of watch the evolution of that character in general, because I think some people kind of missed out on her because her introduction had been through the animated series, but it continued for so long. Ashley Eckstein was so embraced by the community as well, so active within the community. I think that also helped to increase the spotlight and popularity of Ahsoka, and now we're going to see her continued adventures in the live action series. Continuing with more from Disney Plus, Mike, you got to talk a little bit about the Book of Boba Fett Disney Gallery that debuted May the 4th.
Yeah, I watched this and recapped it for Laughing Place. It's about an hour long, behind the scenes special about the Book of Boba Fett. I actually thought it was great. Learned a lot, even beyond what we learned in the Mandalorian ones. And I was very surprised by a few things, especially the fact that Mark Hamill was on set as much as he was. When I saw those episodes, I thought, okay, Mark Hamill showed up when they shot that little scene for the Mandalorian, helped them get started. They scanned his face and they reproduced his voice using the computer. But when the Book of Boba Fett stuff happened, I thought for sure he was not anywhere near that set. But I was completely wrong. It looks like he was there for the entire process of shooting that. In fact, acted out each shot and scene that contain Luke Skywalker, and then they would have the body double come in and copy his movements and his performance. And yeah, he was instrumental in bringing Luke Skywalker back to life again in the Book of Boba Fett. So that's incredibly cool of Mark Hamill for being up for doing that kind of thing still. Yeah, it was really enlightening and eye-opening. And the other thing that caught my eye were the amount of practical visual effects that were used. Like I never would have guessed that the mayor Mok Shaiz was completely a puppet, a practical puppet.
Agreed.
Which he was. I just didn't think they would have done that. So that's very cool as well. But it also speaks to the quality of CGI and how far it's come, that I couldn't tell the difference. Like I thought it was really good CGI, but it's a real puppet. Yeah.
For me, the moments, and I haven't been able to see all of it yet, but the moments that I enjoyed were learning more about how Tem himself seems to have inspired kind of where the character arc went with Boba Fett. Some of the elements of that persona, that character, seems to have come directly from the actor, from his heritage as well. So I enjoyed that, and then just hearing Favreau talk about not only his commitment to the legacy of Lucas himself, and thinking about, you know, how all of this was birthed out of that, you know, that mind, but the nod he gave to the extended universe, I appreciated, because as somebody who, for me, that's kind of what carried me for the longest time, because, you know, the films were done and I had no expectation we would see any more Star Wars films after, you know, Return of the Jedi. So for me, my love of Star Wars was kind of fueled by those novels, and then to just have them kind of seemingly tossed aside as like legends and mythos and whatever was kind of a little bit heart-wrenching at the time.
Sure.
So to hear Favreau talk about it, not as canon, but as, you know, it seemingly, you get the feeling that we understand that there's an element out here who really cherish those stories, and so where we can, we want to, you know, work those in and weave those in. Let's see, what's Mr. Kyle? Do you think it's weird?
Yes,
Disney
I keep
Gallery?
thinking, like, well, okay, when they first launched Disney Gallery, The Mandalorian, I thought, all right, they'll all be like, anytime they do something behind the scenes on Disney Plus, it'll be called that. But then they do the Marvel ones, and it's what's it called? Marvel something. I don't know, but it's not Disney Gallery.
Is that where they put their assembled?
Yeah, Assembled. That's right.
the
Assembled,
assembled?
the making of Black Widow or whatever. And yeah, what is Disney Gallery is always Star Wars. Very odd choice there.
And then the gallery episode led to a bit of frivolity here, because May the 4th around these parts is ridiculously busy. And so Mike asked me to have a little bit of fun with Rodriguez's multi-armed creature. So
do you have the original still from the episode? It was in my recap. If you just bring that up, I put that in there.
There we go. Let me pull it.
If you just scroll down. So this is like, they're showing how, there it is. Robert Rodriguez demonstrated what he wanted the creature to look like at the end of the first episode of Book of Boba Fett. He fights that big Ray Harryhausen monster with 4 arms. And he created this horrible, hideous thing that gave me nightmares. So I thought, let's have some fun on May the 4th. And I pretended that this is the new magic shot at Disneyland. They have the Boba Fett throne there.
So yes, Doobie, it was not real. That was just a really, really quick Photoshop fun thrown in there for a bit of variety during our insanity on May the 4th. So not only was Mike reviewing the Book of Boba Fett from Disney Gallery, getting ready for Star Wars night, but they decided that morning to share. No, I'm sorry, he was recovering from having covered Star Wars night, so you had to get up early, and then boom, you had this waiting for you, right?
Yeah, but I ended up not really having to do. I wish I had time to do usually I'll do the breakdown of every shot, but it just wasn't. There wasn't time on May the 4th, so that really wasn't a big part of my day. I watched it obviously that morning and enjoyed it, but usually if there were much less going on, I would have done a shot for shot breakdown of that trailer, but I never quite
As
get
you think
around
about
to.
the trailer though, Mike, what were some moments? What are some things that you would like to have been, discussing instead?
Well, I said in my on my Twitter account, I was like, my first reaction was I would be equally as excited for this, if not more so, if it was just called Uncle Owen, because Joel Edgerton looks like he's doing an amazing job as Owen Lars. And
Mhm.
I wasn't really expecting him to do an impression of the original actor, but he definitely studied that performance and is doing like it's like halfway between what he did in the prequels and the Uncle Owen from the original trilogy, from the original Star Wars film. So I'm really looking forward to seeing like we just the character that we don't know a lot about, we haven't spent a lot of time with, but has a very interesting relationship with both Luke and Obi-Wan. So I'm super interested in that being built out and expanded upon for sure. That's the thing I'm most excited for. And it's very odd to say that because I know everybody else is excited for, lightsaber fights and Hayden Christensen and Inquisitors and everything like that. But yeah, Uncle Owen all the way.
When this series was first announced, I didn't expect it to have such an impact on the I guess I'll say headcanon, because it's going to fill in blanks in a different way than I think I had previously as a Star Wars fan. Especially the relationship of Anakin and Obi-Wan, and then Darth Vader, the timetable is going to be very different than I had ever previously conceived. So that's been a surprise, a definite surprise that's kind of only been revealed to me within the trailers and casting news and whatever, rather the announcement itself. So I'm excited for the upcoming Obi-Wan series, and they're building excitement with a sand sculpture over at Downtown Disney in California, and Mike was able to grab a few images of this. Anything in particular jump out at you when you were grabbing some shots of this sculpt, Mike?
Yeah, I thought it was really cool, very detailed, very well done. This is Obi-Wan leading his Eopie into what I believe is Mos Eisley. Just looks really cool, and it's in a great place right outside that former Rainforest Cafe in one of those goldfish ponds there.
Yep.
Just really, really neat looking.
A nice reminder that sand isn't only rough and coarse and gets everywhere.
Yeah,
It can be used for
that's true.
beauty as
That's
well.
true.
Um, Also at Disneyland, they had the first of 3 Disneyland After Dark Star Wars nights. So these are sold out already. The first 2 have passed. The next one's coming during Star Wars Celebration. But Mike, you were able to go to the first night. I guess I'll let you share some of the good, the bad, and the ugly of the fun that night.
The bad was that they definitely still had some bugs to work out that night. As I went around, all I noticed were things going wrong, things that felt like they weren't ready. But the good was that people were very psyched about some of the characters they brought out, like Captain Rex from the Clone Wars, not the Captain Rex from Star Tours, but the Captain Rex voiced by D. Bradley Baker and Tamira Morrison in the movies. But yeah, very, very fun characters. There's the Seventh Sister. The Inquisitor was there. They had the Cantina band playing on a raft in the Rivers of America, which was one of the things that kind of went wrong during my visit, if you watch that video. And then yeah, that's the Ahsoka meet and greet spot that Ahsoka never showed up to, and we could never figure out why. There was a long line of people who all seemed very upset. And then later on in the evening, she popped up waving to people from the balcony of the Star Wars launch bay for some reason. No
Oh,
real official word about any of that.
I found your Cantina footage,
Yeah.
so I'll let this play a little bit while you talk about it. I'll have it muted.
So for everyone out there who can read Arabesh like me, and I know there's a lot of you, this sign reads Figrin Dan in the modal nodes, but it is upside down. And then during this performance, if we could hear the sound, the song just cuts out all of a sudden. Yeah, here we go. And you hear the crowd react, and the musicians don't know what to do. I also thought like they were very strangely like way more animated than they should have been. Did you notice that? Like in the movie, they're not going crazy like moving around like that. Yeah, some very odd things going on, but it was a fun evening. These Disneyland After Dark events are so difficult to cover as a theme park journalist because there's so much happening and you're just running around like a maniac the whole time. There's Captain Phasma leading the First Order Stormtroopers through Tomorrowland. But yeah, I got as much as I could. I missed a few things. I didn't get to see that big lightsaber meetup, and there were a couple other things I missed. But yeah, I don't know. I still can't wrap my brain around this Disneyland After Dark concept. I think it's still, after being to so many of them for work, it's still not something that I don't think I would ever really pay to go to one on my own. But it's an interesting concept, and obviously people like it because they always seem to sell out. I don't know. I'm kind of baffled by it. Oh, I can't hear you, Rebekah.
Thank you, because I have this coughing fit and I muted and forgot to unmute.
Sure.
The other element of this, Mike, that is kind of strange to me is that a lot of the experiences, a few of the characters, but the photo ops and a lot of the food items are wrapped into this Disneyland Resort limited time experience aspect as well. So in some ways, there's not even quite as much uniqueness to the event. So really, the focus is the vast variety of characters, that entertainment you pointed out, the fireworks, and then just the opportunity to be in the park with a reduced attendance and everybody in a Star Wars frame of mind. I think that's what I would really focus on if I was talking to a friend who was considering paying the money to go. Obviously, the attractions are open, right? So you can be experiencing them. Although, go ahead.
I did hear someone complaining that Rise of the Resistance had capped the line at 11 p.m., which the event was from 9 till 1. So for half of that time, you could not get in line for Rise of the Resistance. The other really odd thing that I thought stood out to me as a weird choice is that I got in line before the event started. I think at 7, they started letting people line up to go into the Star Wars launch bay for the merchandise, which as I was entering into that area, I overheard a cast member tell someone like, "Oh, it's all event exclusive merchandise." It was there in that little gift shop area in the launch bay. But then when I went to the park the next day for May the 4th, they just had it open. Like anyone could go in, and it was all the same merch. It wasn't an event exclusive. And I know that some of that stuff is being sold on Shop Disney too. So it's like, well, did they not get the event exclusive merchandise? I don't know.
No, the marketing materials, that was just a mistaken communication there for that frontline cast member, because the materials that are out there in regards to this are like first time opportunity, that kind of thing. Like you get a jump on purchasing it. I found I wasn't able to find event exclusive merchandise if there were items like that, but so also to clarify, but we did find that some of the food items, some of the items that are on the menu are only available during those special event hours. And if you're going, be sure and check the app, because the app has information on it, especially things like Rise of Resistance. The app listed that the attraction, what the attraction operating hours are during that evening. So if certain things that are of import to you, be sure and check the app, because you will find additional information regarding the event. But yeah, overall, I'm kind of falling into the same kind of camp as you, Mike. I'm a little perplexed as to what there's not the same exclusivity to it that I'm so accustomed to with these like Disneyland additional hours events. So it was, but on the flip side, it's nice that more people can experience things like the photo op and whatnot, because they've transformed May the 4th on Batu. They call it something else so that they can experience it in universe. And I'm going to bring up a little bit of merchandise about that and let you talk about that as we transition on to more May the 4th.
Yeah, so in universe, May the 4th, aka Star Wars Day, is called Black Spire Day on Batu, which is where Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is set. And we found out about this via a book that came out a couple years ago called The Traveler's Guide to Batu. That was the first time they ever mentioned Black Spire Day. And when I read that book, I was like, oh, this is definitely intended to be the Galaxy's Edge version of Star Wars Day, because they also mentioned Life Day, which would be around Christmas time, obviously. And then there was another like fall celebration that would have been probably Halloween time. And in my head, okay, they're Black Spire Day, they're going to have all sorts of decorations and everything. But no, it's really just merch. As of right now, it's just merch you can buy, t-shirts, a mug. There's a few different pins and stuff. But yeah, that's basically, I did buy the shirt because I'm a sucker. And I got one of the pins, but there's not much more to Black Spire Day. It's not like, I don't know. I didn't really notice anything else going on for Black Spire Day other than the merchandise.
I'm interested to see if it evolves, because we did see during COVID, we saw a lot of Black Spire Day merchandise pop up in outlet stores, right? Because since the parks were limited, I can't even remember exactly what happened at Disneyland anymore from that time period, but the outlet. And as Kyle points out, if you are aboard the Star Cruiser and your day to visit Batu, they were letting the people know as they exited the Halcyon towards Batu that it was continuing to be Black Spire Day? Is that what it was?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I just totally lost it in the midst of that. So yeah, so that was a bit surprising for our friends who were aboard the Star Cruiser to get off May 5th and be still celebrating May the 4th in essence. Let's see, Mike. We've got some news out of Florida that I'm excited about. I don't think you're going to be as excited about it as I am. I got to be honest. It's the Magic Band Plus experience that is coming to Batu East. Did you get a chance to look at the details on this at all?
I know the very, very basics about what it's all about. I know that it doesn't involve any live actors, right? It's all on your Magic Band.
Yeah. The new Magic Band Plus is going to have a lot more haptic response. So out in Florida, as there's going to be various elements of it that when you're like walking, like if you go up to Mickey and you wave at him, you'll hear, "Hi, hey, pal," and get a little vibration and get a little image on your watch. Now the watch itself doesn't have volume, so I'm not sure if that's coming from the sculpt or your phone. I'm not exactly sure kind of where that aspect of the interaction came from yet.
Okay.
I'm still sorting all that out, but I do know the band itself is going to have haptic feedback and lights as well. And they're going to have out in Batu this experience where you can join you can become a bounty hunter, and through your phone you'll get like a assignment. You'll tap your band to some spot within Batu, and then you'll get an assignment, and then the band is going to interact with you in kind of what they compare to the game Hot or Cold.
Mm-hmm.
And so as you get closer to whatever your destination is, the band will let you know. As you're getting farther away from the destination, the band will let you know, either vibrating in certain ways or changing colors. And then when you finally reach your target, right, because you're a bounty hunter, so you're going to have a target, your phone will feature kind of an AR capability where you'll scan this location and then perhaps reveal whatever it is. And in this case, your bounty is this particular alien being, I guess, that you are trying to track down for whatever reason within story. So,
and the idea is that he's hiding behind the door?
Yep.
Okay. Well, that kind of makes sense, I guess.
Yep. So it's kind of taking that scanning the crate experience that we have and taking it to like just that a little bit beyond that, but you'll and then you'll return to the local guild master, because you're part of the bounty guild, hunter guild now, and get your payment. And so you'll continue to build the credits. So if you're somebody who's used the Play app, this will be very familiar to you within that whole Batu experience, and coming to Batu East, from what we've heard so far. So I'm excited about it. Like I say, I know that whole app interaction and interface is not as appealing for Mike as like real actors and that kind of stuff, but it's totally my scene, so
Okay.
I'm super pumped. They've also unveiled a bunch of new images that those magic shots that you can take over at Disney Hollywood Studios. So in light of this announcement of the bounty hunter, I'm not surprised that we have a bounty hunter target. What this thing has a name, you probably know it. I don't.
Bounty puck.
Thank you. So they've got the bounty puck, and then this one cracked us all up at work. I think you were on site, so you didn't get to join in our joking around about it. But yeah, I'm not sure that'd be my reaction if
yeah. This is right before you get blown out of existence by the slave one.
So these are some new magic shots that have popped up over at Hollywood Studios. We're gonna have a link in our collection of Star Wars headlines below, so that if you're on your way to Hollywood Studios, you'll know what's available as far as Star Wars magic shots go while you're in the park. In the meantime, Mike, you get to talk about a book that you read recently, and it sounds like you enjoyed.
I did enjoy this book. I didn't really know what to expect as far as quality goes, because this is a new writer really to Star Wars. I think he wrote a short story for one of the From a Certain Point of View books, but this is his first full-length novel. His name is Mike Chen. I think he's written novels in other whatever, but his first Star Wars novel. And it takes place at the beginning of the Clone Wars, so like right after the end of Attack of the Clones. And it's about the adventure on the planet Cato Nemoidia that is referenced by Obi-Wan Kenobi in the movie Revenge of the Sith. So it's kind of filling in that little gap finally. I know this is something that fans have been asking for and waiting for a long time. And I think this guy, Mike Chen, has really captured the spirit, the positive side of the spirit of the sequel trilogy to me, and especially the voices of these characters. Like, really can hear the voices of Ewan McGregor and isn't that what I said?
Yes.
Okay. And Hayden Christensen coming out of the characters, and it's just a fun adventure. I found it to be really entertaining. It's a brisk, exciting read. So yeah, if you're a fan of these characters and the prequels and Obi-Wan and Anakin especially, this is a recommend from me.
You also had the opportunity to read the first of the Star Wars Obi-Wan comics coming to us from Marvel.
Yeah, so this series is about old Obi-Wan Kenobi, kind of right before the events of the original Star Wars film, before A New Hope, and he's writing in his journal and thinking about his life. And so each issue is going to be a flashback to a different point in Obi-Wan's life. This first one, I wasn't over the moon about it because it felt like kind of a low stakes kind of a story about a kid that he knew, a friend of his from the Jedi Academy, who wants to run away, basically, and Obi-Wan's relationship with that character. It was fine. I just didn't go gaga over it. I'm looking forward to the further issues, but this one was just kind of okay. I think it was a weird story to start off on, because you kind of want to start with a bang, and this felt like, yeah, it's fine. I don't know. Did you read this?
I haven't read it, but I got the impression that part of maybe your disappointment with it is that the cover sets you up for a certain type of story, and then the story within was so very different than what the cover kind of put you in your mind for.
Well, I keep coming back to this. I'm not a fan of false advertising when it comes to comic book covers. And this happens a lot with Star Wars and Marvel, especially when they do the variant covers. I'm okay with it because it's variants, they're not the main cover. With the main cover, I really want that to represent what's going to happen in the issue. And Ewan McGregor is heavily featured on that cover of #1, and that age of Obi-Wan never appears in the comic at all. So I think anyone buying this who's a fan of Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan is going to be disappointed. Darth Vader is also not in this issue at all. It's really about old Obi-Wan writing his journal and very young, like 10-year-old Obi-Wan at the Jedi Academy. So
Wow.
future issues will surely have those other ages of Obi-Wan, and I'm sure you'll see Darth Vader show up at some point. That cover is really meant to represent the entire miniseries, I'm guessing.
That is a really odd choice. I have to agree with you that I would have opened the book expect, one kind of tale, and then to not have that payoff. I'm sure that's going to play into the perception of overall enjoyment of the story. So, like movies I've been to where I was expecting, just a light romance and ended up with a tragic, it's like, whoa, hey, warn me next time. I'll bring tissues.
Yeah.
You also read Star Wars number 23. And this sounds very interesting. I'm eager. I haven't had a chance to read this yet, but I really want to.
Yeah, this is Charles Soule again. We talked about him last week getting a promotion to creative consultant over there at Lucasfilm. And you can definitely see why. He's such a great writer, knows his Star Wars, knows what's exciting. Most of this issue is from the perspective of this Imperial commander Zara, and it's about her facing off with what's left basically of the rebel fleet between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And she kind of goes down fighting. She doesn't die by the end of this issue. She's still alive, but I mean, it's just a big battle basically between her Star Destroyer and the rebel fleet, and her, you can see how her strategies play out, what she's like as a villain, what she's willing to do. And we don't really get there's a couple scenes where we see some rebels, but it's mostly from the Imperial perspective, which I thought was very interesting and very exciting. I'm looking forward to, I think it's kind of implied that there's going to be a last stand between Zara and Princess Leia in the next issue. So I'm looking forward to that.
I've seen some little comparison, and I'm guessing it's because the visual to Vader. Where would you kind of describe this villain as far as kind of within the realm of Star Wars villains?
Well, she's definitely like a war criminal. That's the point that they're making here, is that she's not really playing by the rules of war. She like blows up a military base that's not prepared to fight, basically kills all the people there. So she's, I don't know. If you go to Grand Admiral Thrawn, he's known as more of like a military strategist, and Zara is more of like a sociopath where she just wants to take everybody out. And she has this vendetta against Leia now because of stuff that has happened in previous issues. And she just really, like, she doesn't care how many people she kills on either side, even her own Imperial forces, as long as she's capable of taking Leia out. But we know she doesn't, obviously. So it's going to be interesting to see how her story ends.
And over in the world of music, Decapella has released the Cantina band as a video. It was filmed inside of Oga's Cantina, which is an exciting venue, and that is actually also this song is a part of their recently released album. So you can find more information about that. I didn't get a chance to check this out in the midst of all the May the 4th chaos. Have you checked it out yet, Mike?
I saw like it's probably like a 20-second clip that was on Twitter or something, but really not my kind of thing.
And as far as merchandise goes, we had a special Barely Necessities May the 4th episode. So we invite you to be sure and check that out. You can find that right here on this very YouTube channel. But we wanted to mention just a couple of the things that happened during May the 4th. Chewie had a few new Star Wars toys. We want to make sure you stop by Chewie. And then, Mike, there's some high-end collectibles that we didn't get to discuss on Barely Necessities, including this Jango Fett helmet that's available for pre-order. This company offers like movie real replica. This is an item that's $600+. We're talking incredible attention to the detail and authenticity, like almost a movie prop, let's say. So that we wanted to be sure to highlight that as well. And then you got to look at a lot of Hasbro figures, including this coming Wandering Jedi. So I'll let you talk a bit about that and some of those other characters.
Yeah, it's weird. I got up early on May the 4th to watch the Hasbro live stream, and they announced a bunch of figures in the Black Series and Vintage Collection and stuff. But this was not one of them. I don't know where this came from. This wasn't me. But I did see that the post went up, and it's a cool looking figure. I don't know why they wouldn't have announced this as part of that stream, but I think this is intended to be Obi-Wan as depicted in the Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus series. They call him the Wandering Jedi. But cool costume, cool design, nice likeness of Ewan McGregor there. And that's coming to the Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series. But they did announce a bunch more stuff coming from Hasbro, including, do we have that stuff?
Oh, no, this one.
Oh, yeah. So the Black Series is getting the Cantina band. So you can buy, they're releasing 2 different figures in the Cantina band. One is Figrin Dan, and one is Nalan Chi. Is that the name of the? I know it's named after Leland Chi.
I will double check for you, Mike.
Story. Nalan Chi, I think, is the, and it's a rearrangement of Leland Chi. But you can buy both figures, and if you buy 4 or 5 of them or whatever, you'll have the whole Cantina band. And they have all the instruments and everything. So that's cool that they're finally getting introduced into the Black Series. We haven't had these figures in that scale, these characters in that scale before. There's also Princess Leia coming to the Black Series in her Ewok Village costume from Return of the Jedi. And then that New Republic security droid from The Mandalorian that's been in a couple episodes is also very cool.
And then you also got a box of goodies, and that video is found on Laughing Place. So we'll just mention that here, along with a separate box, I think, that you got that contained a Dagobah scene. This is a new Lego build. So you can find all those videos right here on Laughing Place. But as the excitement builds for Obi-Wan, you can bring the joy of Star Wars to your breakfast along with Tony the Tiger. So it'll be great. Light side is Frosted Flakes, and then they're bringing in the chocolate flakes for the dark side. So you've got a little mixture of fun to bring Obi-Wan to breakfast from Kellogg's. And then we're going to have ObiWan Wednesdays, a weekly campaign. Once again, this is similar to what we saw with Mando Mondays, and they had one for Boba Fett too. I can't remember what they called it, but they had one for Boba. Oh, bring home the bounty.
Yes.
So now we have ObiWan Wednesdays. Yeah.
Not Obi. Why didn't they go with Obi Wednesdays? Obi-Wednesdays? No.
I don't know.
That was probably the original pitch, and then somebody at Lucasfilm was like, "No, Obi-Wan Wednesdays." I know they're always like party poopers about stuff like that, right?
So you'll find more information about what items are released over the course of the ObiWan Wednesdays, both here at Star Wars Headlines and also over at Barely Necessities, which is Laughing Place's live Disney merchandise show. On Friday, in fact, we're going to be showcasing some of the items that we are expected to see unveiled at Star Wars Celebration, because there was just so much to talk about with May the 4th. We're going to ask you to head over there on Friday to find out more about those items. In the meantime, Disney and Starlight Children's Foundation have partnered to create hospital gowns that bring the joy of Star Wars to those challenging times. I, as someone who was a child in the hospital, this would have been cool. I would have very much enjoyed having something a little bit more decorative for my various visits to such an unpleasant place for me. So they've got R2-D2, Chewie, the Mandalorian, Darth Vader. So really neat to see this partnership with the Halcyon. Mike, are you going to build a Halcyon to have at home?
I don't think so. We have enough clutter as it is.
I do like that they have Owani and the captain available. I'm guessing that's your
Yeah,
valet droid, right?
D309 is in there, as well as SK620.
Which is hopefully coming to me. I asked for one. A friend is on board the Halcyon, and I'm like, can you please bring me an SK? By the way, my husband is on his way to surgery in the not too distant future, and he would have he would have totally rocked one of these if they made them available to him as well. Orlando Airport. If you don't follow them on Twitter, I can't request it enough. Hang on. I got distracted by Kyle. Lodico doesn't want a paper version of his
bad
text.
memory.
Don't want a little voodoo doll of Owani.
Have you noticed Lodico's illegitimate child is here behind me? That's what Tori calls this.
I love it. Oh, that's cute. Okay. By the way, those galactic pals were adorable.
Yeah.
That whole set. I was so jealous when you pulled out the little Rhodian galactic pal. Oh man, they flew off shelves at Target.
Oh, yeah.
The Orlandorian is the latest fun that the Orlando airport had with their various socials. It was in essence a day in the life of the Orlandorian as he was, fulfilling his various responsibilities around the airport on May the 4th. So once again, over at MCO, that's their handle. They're always having way too much fun reminding you of the joy that is visiting the Orlando airport because you're on your way to Disney World.
Or leaving Disney World, in which case it's a sad place.
It's just sad. It's like both the happiest and saddest sight in the world, that's for sure. Let's see, Mike. We've got episode 100. Oh, nope. That's not episode 100. That's episode 100 of Who's the Boss?
Yeah, so finally got around to recording the 100th episode. It was released on May the 4th. It was a fun one. A lot of fun secret surprises in there, and just having fun chatting about Star Wars with my friend David Murto and his wife Bethany there for her first time on the show.
I'm noticing the relevant people off to the side here. You've got your little bio that says Star Wars Pop Culture Podcast hosted by Mike. Yeah. And then David's just says tweets are gross. So there you go. All you need to know. And then finally, Mike, as we wrap up here, thanks everybody for joining us at Star Wars Headlines. You've got some excitement.
Yeah, this is first ever shown publicly teaser image from Antiquities, a Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser story, part 5, the 5th and final chapter in the saga that started a couple months ago. So there you have it. You're the first to see it if you're watching the stream.
Oh, so exciting! I can't believe it. It's been a really fun journey. I'm looking forward to this next chapter. I have had an opportunity. Mike lets me a little bit behind the scenes. I'm so excited to see the realization of some of the ideas that he's been toying with, and I can't wait for everyone here to see them as well. That's gonna just pretty much do it for us here at Star Wars Headlines. Thank you all very much for watching. If you've been enjoying this, please give us a like. Let your friends know that Laughing Place has a weekly show where they update you on all things happening within the Star Wars universe. Comic reviews, book reviews, toy reviews. We discuss the latest projects that are happening. So just a lot of Star Wars fun and talk, and especially with Mike's expertise and knowledge, we greatly appreciate him bringing those insights and that depth of history and knowledge to the discussions. Mike, is there anything that's coming to Laughing Place that you want to talk about? I know that you just put out a bunch of content, so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe there's a little bit of a break before the next round.
Well, it's a very, very busy month. May the 4th was crazy. Last week was crazy with all the Marvel stuff too. We got Parks Talk at 4. We'll talk about all the new characters at Adventures Campus and stuff like that. And yeah, I just shot this short over the weekend, and I'm editing it right now. I'm very, very excited to put it together and get it complete. But yeah, look for that. Look for that soon. That's the big thing that I'm working on right now, and that'll be done and up before Star Wars Celebration.
And if you don't make it back to Star Wars headlines before the end of the month, let me remind you that we will be live coming from Star Wars Celebration via our Twitter, via various blogs on laughingplace.com. So please be sure and follow us and stay tuned for all the hot information and exciting announcements that we're sure to come out of Star Wars Celebration. I know Mike is extremely excited to be surrounded by hundreds, if not thousands, of fellow passionate Star Wars fans. It's been a long time since they've been able to gather so big. So I'm excited for all that coverage. I want to thank everyone for joining us, and we will see you all next time. See you at Parks Talk, 4 o'clock.
Yep. See you then. Bye.